Almost there. K4PEW. Hold on one second. All right, now we're cooking. Good evening. This is K4PEW Mount Net Control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio. I got ahead of myself there. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Very good. Messed things up in my push to talk button got disconnected. Make sure it's still there. Yep, still there. If anybody has any priority traffic, emergencies, call 911 or talk to us. Just jump in and scream, and we'll be happy to help you in any way we can. You can break in at any time for an emergency. For information on this net, you can see us right now on YouTube. Just look at my call, K4PEW, on YouTube search block, little on the top of their little screen there. You'll come right up upon our channel and go to town. You can also see us on our website, which is 146415.net. You won't see me, but you'll see some nice information on Simplex and on the doing nets and that kind of stuff. And you can also sign up for our email group at look at us up under MJSS on groups.io, groups.India Oscar, and just do a search within that thing for MJSS. Or you can, let's see, you can email me, k4pew@arrl.net. What'd you say, Donnie?
Yeah, if anybody has not seen it, the Ham Quest this year has been called off. Fairgrounds is not doing, I don't think, anything up there much during the summer, so they're not going to have it this year. It was on our web page, but I didn't know if it'd been an announcement made on this yet or not.
I sent out an announcement to the whole group, all 105 of us, on the email thing, so they would have seen it there, and we would announce that tonight anyway, Donnie. But thank you.
All right, somehow I'm still not getting that email list, but that's all right. I just want to check. Thank you.
Apparently, you've been blackballed.
Too.
Well, I'll double check on that. You should be on it, but we'll find out. In fact, email me. Make sure you can send me your correct email if you do that for me, Donnie. We'll go from there, and I'll make sure it gets on there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All righty. That's a big thing. I'm disappointed that that's one of the announcements for tonight is. But we normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night, and we also do other nets, as you know, on 6 meters, 10 meters, and 2 meter sideband. And since today is what is today? Saturday. Saturday we do the 2 meter net, and then we do the 2 meter sideband, and then an upper sideband of 144.240. And then tonight we're doing the 6 meter upper sideband on 150.135, I think is where it is. I think that's where we did it last time. Anyway, I'll make sure of that in a minute. Somebody can remind me too. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, those are the nets we have tonight. And of course, the big announcement, of course, is really the Ham Quest has been canceled. That was going to take place in July due to obviously things beyond the club's control over there in Lebanon, and they're just as sorry as I'm sure everyone else is, because I know I was looking forward to it. It's a nice close event, and it's also very well attended, and it's got lots of people there, and you meet all our friends and neighbors and have a good old time. Just we wouldn't recognize them because they all have masks on. Anyway, the purpose of our net, and any net really, is to help promote ham radio and have fun and improve any simplex net, that is, because it's to improve your station with a big repeater. You don't need much. You need a mag mount on your refrigerator and 50 watts, and you're in town. So here you need more than a mag mount on your refrigerator. Let's see. We invite everyone. Yeah, the announcements. That was one of them. There's also, since it is Saturday, the big events. So then tomorrow night is another 10 meter net, 28.415, and that's at 7:30. 28.415 upper sideband, 7:30 p.m. A reminder goes out on the system, so you'll see it there as well. Is there any other announcements besides that? The Ham Quest was canceled, and of course, that field day is not canceled because that's in June for the National Field ARRL, but also, as you know, was canceled for this month, and that was the Well, it's not the Dayton Ham Fest anymore, so whatever it is. That's been canceled. A terrible year for this crap. Anyway, any other announcements? All righty. Let's see, where was I beyond that? This is, well, running behind the times here. I don't even know what net this is. Hold on. I'm going to pretend to know it's net, but I don't know what it is. I'll have to look it up. I grabbed the wrong notebook, and I think it's 5 something. Michael, do you have that? 5 something?
588.
Wow, 588. Where were we starting? You remember?
We started west, last stop, so it'll be south.
That was going to be my guess, but hate to guess. But anyway, 588 is our number, and we're starting from the south. And of course, we do the lightning round check-ins, where we just take in check-ins. You give me me and everyone else who's listening. You just give your call and your name and your location. That'd be great. Helps me with my memory, and other people can also hear you at the same time. That's how we kind of get to know each other, is just knowing who's talking and where. And tonight, I'll wait for the check-ins to come in, and then I'll say what the discussion topic can be tonight. It's not limited to that, but it can be. And I'll tell you, wait until we do the check-ins. So we're starting from the south, taking check-ins now. Or is there any other people that are real short of time that need to be in here quickly and get out?
Okay, 483, flashbang.
Flash bang.
Lightning.
Oh, is that good or bad? I mean, you got three towers.
Hello to you and everybody on the net. 73, K483.
All right, Robin's chickening out with the lightning boy because he's got three lightning rods out there on his property. All right, K4IDC is checking in early and checking out. All right, that was Robin. Does anybody have any other emergencies to get in and out?
We should get Victor 4 Delta.
That was whiskey. Is that? No, it's Wiki. Man, you messed me up. I know it's 4 Delta. What is it? It's whiskey. Is it whiskey? Victor 4 Delta, isn't it?
That is correct. Sorry, but I had to check out early.
All right, and that's it's Ken and Smyrna, correct?
That is a Roger.
No, not Roger. Ken. I got you. Very good. That was whiskey Victor 4 Delta, Ken and Smyrna. Anybody else needs to check out early?
Tell Robin there's only one benefit of an indoor antenna. KG460.
That's right. And I assure you, if lightning wants your antenna, it'll come through your window. I had a friend of mine down in Florida. It came in on the telephone lines, and they had a wall-mounted phone in the kitchen, and it came in on the phone line, and that was popular then was it was a foil type wallpaper. It blew the foil right off the wall. So lightning does whatever it chooses to do. All right, anybody else need to check out real quick? KN4 TJ, if you need to jump out of there quickly, do you, Rick? All right, very good. Well, we had Rick in there. Sorry to lose you guys so early, but that was Rick over in Ashland City. Anybody else? All righty, then we'll just start check-ins from the south. Again, call, name, and location, and we can move right along and get in on the topic and have some open discussion if you so desire. And remember, we're doing the 2-meter net. Today's Saturday, so we also have the buy, sell, swap, and swindle if you got something to buy or sell. So I forgot about that part. Who else south? Please come in.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Very good. That's Larry. I didn't even need you to tell me where you are, but that's Larry, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. He's in Rockville. Who else we got south?
Kilo Mike 4 November Yankee Bill Murfreesboro.
Very good. Bill in Murfreesboro. Kilo Mike 4 November Yankee. I heard a double in there. Go ahead. I believe that's Jerry, correct? Jerry, I forgot where you are. I-24 in Harding Place. Very good. Kilo Golf 4 Whiskey X-ray Uniform Jerry. A little low on the signal tonight. I don't remember you being that low before.
I've turned it up a few more once or two you watch.
Okay, sounds much better, Jerry, when you bump the power up a little bit. Who else south? Please come down. And again, Jerry, KG4WXU. Who else is south?
KR4AZ.
KR4AZ, and we got Tim in Murfreesboro. Good to have you in there, Tim. Good signal. Who else is south?
Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet, Jim Woodbury.
How much power are you running tonight there, Jim?
40 watts, 45, 50 watts.
Yeah, you're doing real good. I mean, you're S9 in here. Sounds real good. Nice clear signal on that beam. It was Jim in Woodbury. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. Who else is south? We run out of south.
K4FO Donnie Hermitage, no more late information.
You say more or less information? Donnie, there's no more?
Yeah, no more late information.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not late. It's just, it's good to put those things out there because not everybody, A, reads their emails. B, some people, they just delete them because they didn't know what it was or it went into spam. You know, you never know. Anyway, Donnie, good to have you in there. Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar south of me in Hermitage. Who else south? All righty, then we'll move over to the east. Please come in.
Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India, James in Mount Juliet.
Very good, James in Mount Juliet, just over there, right in the middle of almost the heart of Mount Juliet, just east of the library. And that's Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. Anybody else east?
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, Richard Lebanon.
Very good, Richard. Is your better half going to check into?
Absolutely, KI4SOR, Stephanie, Lebanon.
All righty. It's got Stephanie in Lebanon, and that's KI4SOR, Kilo India 4 Sierra Oscar Romeo, and Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. Richard, they both live in the same household with, I presume, the same radio and the same really nice, I don't know, about 40 or 50 foot push-up pole out there. Only guy I know in an apartment complex who got permission to put up a push-up pole. Next is the tower. Who else is east?
KB4RSM, Glenn, and East Mount Juliet. Hello, Paul and the net. Hope everyone's safe.
Oh, yeah, safe as we can be. Quarantining the sick. Well, I don't know. I guess we're all, we're quarantining the well people. Yeah, it's Kilo Bravo 4, Romeo, Sierra Mike, Glenn in southeast, where I am. Southeast in, where am I? I'm in Mount Juliet. That's where I am. I was going to say southeast Wilson County, but it's not quite accurate. Glenn's over near 109. I think it's north of the interstate, isn't it, Glenn?
Basically right at 109 and 40.
Oh, there you go. Right there on the exit ramp. All right, very good. It was Glenn, KB4RSM, 40 and 109. Who else is east?
K482 East, Lebanon.
Very good. We got Stan over there, just a little down north of downtown Lebanon. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else east?
Kilo 4 Sierra Romeo November, Will, Mount Juliet.
Will in Mount Juliet. Good to have you in there. And that's Kilo 4 Sierra Romeo November. I did have that correct now, right? So Sierra Romeo November.
Roger.
Very good. Who else is east?
Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu Earl in Noreen.
Did you do something different? Because you really got a good signal tonight, Earl.
Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering. Your signal's really good tonight.
Yeah, after the wind calmed down here, so I went out there in Armstrong, the 13B2, and took a guesstimate of pointing it in your direction. That's, of course, I'm doing about, I don't know, maybe 60 watts.
No, you're doing great. It's the best audio, and the signal's about S8, but the audio is exceptionally good for you now. You did a good job on that, Earl. Who else? And that's Earl, Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu, and he's over in in Noreen, just east of the state park there, Cedars of Lebanon. Who else is east? Up to the north, and north of Mount Juliet. W4WKU. Did I get that right, Steve?
No, it's K4WT.
I don't know how I could get that wrong. I was thinking about something else when you said that. Signal's a little bit of hash in there, but I hear you good, Steve. How's the net going up there this week on the Simplex?
Not too bad. About 9 or 10 each day. Thank you. And I'm well over 100 on my net.
Excellent on that many so soon in the first year or so, because I know we were still struggling with that number after 3 or 4 years. So, well, actually 3, I guess. I don't remember now. It's not important. Just keeping up the pace, though, was good. Are you getting new people in there?
Oh, yeah. We got new hands all the time.
Excellent, excellent. I do feel that Simplex is an attraction, a normal attraction for new hams that feel good about getting on the air and getting them preened to get on other bands and up into the general and extra T. Anyway, good to have you in there, Steve. He's up in Bowling Green. Kilo for Whiskey Kilo uniform. You think I'd know that by now? Who else is north? Please come on.
KB4 says KC8 and no, Jeff, Northwest Wilson.
Ah, very good, Jeff. You had a double in there, but I'll take you first. Kilo Charlie 8, November Oscar. He's over in Northwest Wilson. There was a KB4, but I didn't catch who that was.
KB4 X-Ray Victor, Gary in Castellan Springs.
Ah, very good, Gary. Yeah, you did. Your antenna setup looks like it's working well after we checked it out today.
Yeah, I just can't hear much. Don't have it high enough to hear good, but I get it on top of my tower one of these days.
Very good. Well, you're bumping over S9 to me, so and it's a real good, solid audio. And anyway, that's Gary Kilo Bravo for X-Ray Victor, and he is in Castellan Springs. Who else is north?
KJ4 GMR, KJ4 HME.
Ah, very good. We got Ray in there, Kilo Juliet for Golf Mike Romeo, and he's in Cottontown, along with Zoe, his better half, and that's KJ4 Hotel November Victor. Good to have you both in there. Who else north?
KC9 ETS, Paul from Juliet.
KC9 ETS, Paul, the other Paul in Mount Juliet. There's only 2 of us in the whole stinking city. Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra, and he's right here in Mount Juliet. His name is Paul. Who else we got? Where am I? North. Anybody else north? Over to the west then.
KM4YRF.
KM4YRF, and that's Michael. He's in Belshire. Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Good to have you in there. Good signal as always. Who else is north?
KM4KXA, Robert in Goodlettsville.
Robert in Goodlettsville. Sounds like you have an old what do you call it? A reverb mic on. You got a bare walls in your shack there?
No, I don't.
No, it sounds like it's like a little echo in your audio.
Sorry about that. Same audio I've been producing for a while, I guess.
Oh no, it's readable and everything's fine. It's just it almost sounds like you're in a a little bit of an echo in there. Anyway, it's no big deal. So don't worry about it. I just happened to notice it today because the bands sound so good tonight. Very good. That was Robert, Kilo Foxtrot 4 Kilo X-Ray Alpha, and I believe that was Goodlettsville. Correct, Robert?
Roger, and that is Kilo November 4 Kilo X-Ray Alpha.
Oh yeah, I messed that up, didn't I? Kilo November 4. I don't know how I wrote that down wrong, but it must be my ham dyslexia going on here. Anybody else north? Sorry about that, Robert. Good signal though. Otherwise, really, there's no problem at all. Who else north?
West.
North and west. Go ahead. Northwest.
Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo. Turtle.
I think I heard Chris in there first, and that's Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo, right, Chris?
Correct.
Yeah, good. I was only partially heard that, and I believe I heard November 4 Delta Juliet Tango Don in there from Bon Aqua. Is that correct?
That's correct. On a quick note, Glenn out there off of Highway 109 at the booming S9 signal up here.
Oh, I'm not surprised. We'll have to ask him later did he make any changes to where the is that? Well, I'll just ask you right now, Glenn, is your antenna any higher or any different than you have had in the past?
Paul, it's a little higher at the moment. I've got the tower basically right now at about 70 feet. So trying to think, I'm playing around, experimenting with a different microphone. But other than that, I think things are about the same.
Yeah, you must be using the DX microphone to get better over to Don and Bon.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you heard what he said, though. Excellent booming signal into his location over there in Bon.
Nice, good deal. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, that's a good stretch, but you're at 70 feet and he's on the tower as well. How high is your antenna on the tower, Don?
Yeah, it's about 30 feet off the ground, sitting at about almost 900 foot elevation, right at the feet point.
Oh, yeah, that 900-foot elevation sure does overcome a lot of terrain issues.
Yeah, it does. He's really strong right here too, Paul.
Yeah, his is a little fuzzy to me, but again, terrain issues and just issues between him and me are different than the ones between you and him. All right, very good. Anybody else west? Please come in.
4 Alpha Whiskey Echo.
All right, I had 2 in there. Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo John in Bellevue, and Whiskey Yankee 4 Gulf, and that's Jeff, and he's in Madison, both with excellent signals. Good to have you both in there. Who else west? Any late check-ins? Yeah, go ahead, Steve. You said Ken is? What's his suffix again? FTH? Yeah, I'm saying Foxtrot Tango Hotel, right?
Foxtrot David.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. All right, we'll take that as he obviously can hear me, but is he mobile or is he at the house? Was that a no there, Steve? Or he's not sure? Oh, I got you. I'm assuming he's up on Hospital Hill up there. Okay, he's giving it a good shot, man. He's the hardest working ham in Kentucky right now, driving over to Hospital Hill to work mobile into here into Mount Juliet. Ken, if you can tell Ken that we appreciate his participation. I'm sorry the conditions weren't such that, because I heard him before on another night checking in, so it's not like it's impossible from right in the middle of Bowling Green. All right, is there any other late check-ins? Please come on. W0GZR, and I've forgotten your first name and location at the moment.
Mark in Southeast Nashville.
Oh, yeah. How can I forget that all the time? That's because I'm getting old that way. Southeast Nashville, that was Mark. Whiskey, Zero, Golf, Zulu, Romeo. Excellent signal. You're doing a real good job, Mark. Any other late check-ins? Well, very good. What I thought would be a timely discussion tonight before we move over to the other stuff we want to do. And we're right on the money here with timing here because we got 3 nets and we don't want to take up 2 hours doing that. At least I don't think I want to. But I thought that it was we're in a timely spot where China's in the news every day. And, the China coronavirus, some people have been calling it, and the problem with their problems and not getting the information out quick enough and all the other problems they kind of been giving us, I should say. I guess the question I have for tonight is, should we be patronizing to China by buying all their equipment, all their radios, because they sell an awful lot of radios in this country? And I would just like to hear some feedback on that. Just to be clear, I'm if it's a negative, I'm guilty of. I own I own 3 radios, a junky mobile radio and 2 handhelds that are all made in China. So I'm already guilty of doing trade with China, and I just don't know if we should continue.
Go with Japan.
Okay. Well, I'm just suggesting, see, because that's the other thing I don't know is if indeed any of the other suppliers, the manufacturers, Kenwood, ICOM, a Linko, or Icon Linko, like Yaesu, if they're subcontracting any of their manufacturing to China for their internal components other than their microphones, I don't really know, because I noticed that several, almost seems like all the microphones are made in China now. Does anybody have any thoughts on if and should or should we just, does it really matter if we do business with China on radio?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
Unfortunately, we have to do business with them to a certain degree if we're going to involve ourselves in ham radio. But I would love to see somebody come to the United States and start manufacturing a quality two-way radio in the ham band. I don't know who that would be or when, but I would love to see things move out of the middle or out of the Asian world altogether if it were at all possible. I'm ready to bring things home. That's my thought about the whole process. KI4SIB.
Yeah, that would be an interesting take on it, because as you know, that the Mercedes, Toyota, everybody and their mother from overseas now, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are manufacturing their vehicles here and hiring American employees and subcontracting many things internally to the United States. So makes you wonder why. I guess there's not enough radios sold to make that a viable thing to have manufacturing in Japan and here. And interestingly, the one Alinco I have, the 85-watt Alinco radio, is made in the Philippines. So I guess at least it's not China.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Personally, I try to research and find out where all this stuff's coming from, even on batteries and things like that, see if there's another alternative. Talk about Alinco, my understanding was about 2 years ago, they sold out and China's making all those Alincos now. They didn't make the older ones in Japan, they were made in Japan, but on the newer ones, they may be being made in China.
Ah, okay. Well, this Alinco I have is about, maybe 4 years old, and it was made in the Philippines. I was surprised.
Yeah, that just supposedly happened a couple of years ago. I read that one time on the internet and had the article, and then I tried to find it again, couldn't never find it again.
Okay, I got you. Well, I guess it's worth investigating. I'm just wondering in principle if we should be supporting China when they're not exactly our friends militarily, and they're not exactly the friends of the worldwide community in a good way, in so many ways, that aside from the fact that they offer cheap labor, relatively inexpensive products and services, and the fact that we get, it seems, 80% of our drugs, raw materials, handhelds, clothing, trinkets, pens. We get a lot of stuff from China. Any thoughts? Any other thoughts on that? Should we boycott China? I guess that's the question.
KG460. I don't think we actually can. I think there's just too much of the electronics that we use in our daily lives that come from there. I don't know what will happen, honestly, if that was to be shut off completely.
I don't think you can shut it off completely, because there's already too much in the stream. You know, when we talk about computer components, as you would know, and all kinds of stuff that comes out of contract manufacturing in China. And I remember reading some years ago, and this is probably about 10 years ago, and they said by now, or somewhere in the 2020 or 2025, something like 85 or 90% of clothing would be made in China, which would pretty much crush poorer countries like Bangladesh, India, and some other places that really need the business, but they're not going to be able to compete with the juggernaut like China. What you got, Earl?
I got a box of pieces and parts in the mail this week. I don't know how many of them come from China, but they were distributed by DX Engineering. I got some of their store brand LMR 400. Supposed to be Ultraflex, or stranded center anyway. It's not as flexible as I thought it was going to be, but it's not real stiff. But I haven't taken it out of the package yet. I just opened it up, bent it a little bit, and got me a one of them there Icon
it's kind of inevitable, you know, in terms of, you know, two big economies supporting one another. It's just that, well, I'm going to let it go at that. Try not to get into the political way of thinking in my way of thinking at times. KE4DZ 73 anyone and everyone out there can hear my transmission.
Who was the last check-in right there? The last one, not Earl, but who was that last one? Kilo 9, one more time. Oh, golly. I heard the Delta this time, but I missed the last three letters in your suffix.
Frank Echo Zulu.
You said Frank Echo Zulu? Where is he located?
Mike Echo Zulu.
Okay, Mike Echo Zulu. Where's he located at? Kilo Delta 9, Mike Echo Zulu.
Where are you guys located? We're trying to figure out where you're at. You are southeast of me.
Right. I'm net control here is in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. I'm not copying all of that. Anybody got that? Somebody look up Kilo Delta 9 Mike Echo Zulu for me, please. Take it we got some conditions tonight if he's in 9 land.
I mean, you said he was in Illinois.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing, but I didn't know where, you know, if indeed it was Illinois, but that's quite a stretch for us. I presume you're running a beam? Yeah, so that's Terry, I take it, in Carmi, Illinois. Is that correct? All right, I'm not copying anymore. Is he still talking? Because I'm not copying the thing.
We were wondering if he was on a repeater or if you're running a beam on Simplex. We're all running Simplex here. We have a Simplex Net down here in Middle Tennessee Saturday evenings at this time. Yeah, QSO, I get you in there, but the QSBs were really horrible. You're back down enough. I'll turn it back over to Paul and for DJT.
Yeah, very good. Was he using the beam there, Don?
I didn't get that. He kept dropping down. Anyway, he has a really good signal for about 10 seconds, then he gets down to nothing again.
I'm using a dial in 510. Can you hear me? I've got a real good copy on you guys. 89 IWZ.
That was Kilo Delta 9, India Whiskey Victor, and I'm on an X500 here in Mount Juliet, and so is Don, N4 Delta Juliet Tango. He's over in Bon Aqua in Tennessee.
Wow, Tennessee, that's pretty good odds. Band must be wide open tonight. Yeah, I'm on a Diamond 510 omnidirectional antenna, about 55 feet in the air. I'm located in El Dorado, Illinois. That's in Saline County, which is the southern part of the state. We're a long way from y'all. Good to hear you in there.
Yeah, we've got excellent conditions. I don't think I've heard them this good on 2 meters simplex in this part of the band in a long time. Well, it's only 150 miles. Well, it's 150 miles to Kilo Delta 9 Mike Echo Zulu. Well, that's pretty good. We set an interesting record tonight on 2 meters, I think, on the net. We had 2 people check in from Illinois, and that's quite a feat. Yeah, that was Bill or William, Kilo Delta 9 India Whiskey Victor. I don't know how many people could copy him, but I know a few did anyway. And he is a grand total of same deal, 155 miles away. So that's quite a stretch there. And I guess we need to move on, but that's great copy on great copy on Bill, but it was breaking up on the other fellow. Who else? Anybody else late check-ins?
What was your call sign?
Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey. Very good. Be happy to return the card if you like. Yeah, we're doing that here every Wednesday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. on this frequency.
All right, very good.
Very good. Good to hear you in there. Appreciate the QSO, and I'm glad you jumped in there. We had excellent conditions anyway. It was amazing how clear it was at times. Was anybody else besides Don copying him? Well, it was good conditions for me and Don anyway. You heard that last one real loud and clear, did you, Don?
Yeah, he was in there pretty good. That's key with the preamp, but I routinely reach into Southern Illinois all the time. I actually talk to a net in the morning. They have a morning drive net up there. When the conditions are right, I'll check in. That thing comes booming here like S9.
Wow. Yep, really nice to have something like that happen. That brought us up to 33 check-ins, and 2 were DX. So we're doing real good. Anyway, back to that idea. I just don't know if it's fruitful or if it's something we should do with this China thing. And I don't mean to belabor the point. I just think that we're kind of stuck. I remember when I was working retail when I was 17 years old, when I was still in high school. I remember seeing how much stuff was coming in from Japan at the time. It wasn't China. It was Japan. And it was a kind of a Walmart kind of a store. It was one of those big box department stores up where I lived. It was called, I forget, it was Maxim's, I believe was the name. But anyway, it's just that I think it's going to move around. Somebody's going to jump in there and beat China. I don't know who that's going to be, whether it's Mongolia or India. Somebody's going to come in and kick their butt, because if you remember, it went from Japan to like Taiwan to Korea, and maybe Singapore is jumping in there too, and Vietnam, and now China's the big dog in this fight. It's just that it seems like they got us by the they just got us by the tail, because we're purchasing so many things from them. And I guess like one fellow said, whoever said that, is just you want to research. It was Donnie. When you want to research, and if you can buy something that's not China, I think it's a good idea, because in spite of the fact that the radios that we get from China, I believe the TYTs and the Baofangs and those other different named ones, they seem to be of relatively, for as cheap as they are, they work pretty darn good. But that doesn't mean we should, I would just as soon buy a Kenwood, quite honestly. I do have a Kenwood handheld, and I've got all my other radios are either Kenwood or Yaesu. And I don't know, we don't have an alternative in this country. And it's like Richard said, that's the problem we have.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, my grandson did something very interesting a couple of years ago, right after I got my first radio from China. I was telling him about it, and I said, here it is. And the first thing he did on that one and another one I got, started smelling of it and sniffing of the radio. And I said, what are you doing? He said, well, one of his professors up at Tech, they get a lot of parts in up there in the engineering department. And he said, he has kind of told them anytime you're getting these parts in China, you need to go through them, kind of sniff them, because they will sneak some used parts in their own. That you might be able to sniff them out, might not. But he did that. He said he does that on all of his stuff he gets from there.
Used parts.
Yeah, and it kind of shocked me, but he put it through quite a sniff test on that one and another little radio I got too.
I'm not sure I know what sniffing is, other than inspecting the radio internally. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we didn't take it apart, but he was just trying to see if he could smell anything that smelled like maybe burnt parts or something that may have been heavily used or something. He said they was telling him he was teaching them how to check for some of that stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I thought he was maybe looking for dead bats in the radios or something.
Yeah, it was on the parts, and I thought that was rather interesting, but I've seen him do that on several things he's gotten, he ordered there.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't think I've met anybody who has had a terrible experience with the radios that came out of China. I've heard reports of some machines not operating, some radios they would failed out of the box or they had issues, but the distributor would pick up the slack and cover for them because it's hard to believe you could buy. I mean, when I bought a handheld, it's plus the big battery and the antenna, I spent $400 on that Kenwood 15 years ago. It's now selling for just a little less than 300, but the battery and the bigger antenna still cost money. And I don't know, no, they're not even making it anymore. I'm sorry, the THF-6A is not being made. But I think I would feel ultimately more comfortable with one of the Kenwood, ICOMs, or Yaesus that's made, for American distribution rather than the Chinese radios made for worldwide distribution. I don't know, maybe it's just. And of course, I think that the technical reviews are sometimes shabby on some of the radios with spurious emissions and some quality issues. So I'll leave it at that, other than the fact that all those Baofangs, and I assume the others, are all wide open so they can transmit anywhere and anybody can buy one on Amazon. So anybody without a license can get on and just talk anywhere they feel like it, which seems kind of silly. Any other thoughts on that Chinese issue? Not that I'm trying to rag on the Chinese. It's an equal opportunity offender.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
KK4 UTS, they check in.
Ah, very good. Good to have you in there. How you doing tonight?
I ain't doing too bad. I used to smell radios too, but I'm one of the guys that used to lick 9-volt batteries a long time ago. Nothing better to do when I was a kid. But I will say this here: I've got that Kenwood radio. I bought that thing. My first fascination with ham was to do the foam patch. So I bought that thing many moons ago, and it still works great. I might have to test it out. I know the Yaesu works excellent. I think a couple days ago I keyed up on that one or checked in on that one. But yeah, that's good. But those Chinese radios, you can kind of get way out of spec on those things. So I guess for some it might seem good. I actually turned this one here. They say it's 8 watts, but I don't know what a watt is to these guys. But I actually turned it into a police scanner.
Oh, you're talking about the 8-watt Baofeng?
Yes, sir. That would be the one.
Yeah, I've got that same radio. It's a nice radio, but what's funny is that people would say, we talk about quality issues and engineering issues. It is pretty sturdy. Seems to be very durable. Don't get me wrong, but when compared to like that THF-6A and some other radios I've used that are either the Kenwood, ICOM, or for instance, when you put the Baofeng in scan, and you had to say you have 50 frequencies programmed in there, it just scans relatively slowly compared to when you scan on that THF-6A, man, it flies through those frequencies.
No question about it. Absolute day and night difference. I remember getting my first license up there with the guys, and I had never heard of a $30 radio at that point. I just kind of went over my head, but and that's I guess that's a lot of the young kids in, and or the new ones, that kind of play around. But I mean, it is what it is. I wish we had, unfortunately, all of our work has been farmed overseas, and now we need masks and ventilators and all kind of stuff. So I kind of wish, because I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so we were a GM family and a Ford family and a Chrysler family. Everybody had factory jobs, and I just kind of hate to see all these shuttered, places of income. It just breaks my heart.
Oh yeah, and plus the fact that Ohio made a lot of tires too.
Yeah. I was actually talking to my wife about that because Bridgestone is headquartered here, but I don't think they burned any rubber here. But I grew up, when I was a kid, we go pick my mom up, and I'd ride by a place called NCR, and I'd see these things. You'd think it was a meat factory, but it was actually cash registers hanging up on hooks going around an overhead assembly. Oh
yeah, well, just as an aside there, I got tires at Goodyear for the other car I had 3 years ago, Chrysler. And, one day I was putting air in the tires and I looked and realized the tires were all made in Brazil. I thought, boy, that's weird.
Yeah, I think they have the rubber tree or something.
No, I just think it's cheaper to make them down there.
Yeah, I don't know. Greed, I guess. What's the guy's name from Wall Street? Greed is good, but I don't know. It's really breaking us. And I was going to ask the other day, I think on our last check-in. I mean, open and close. You know, you can argue it both ways. I mean, I'd love to see things open up, but and I don't think this thing's going to go away. I mean, we might be able to manage it, contain it, but I don't know that it's ever going to just disappear. I don't know. I have no idea.
Nah, everybody's. I had this interview that was on the radio. It was from Ireland, and supposed expert talking on there. My wife overheard it on the from the other room, and she says, "What are we supposed to believe?" I said, "I have no idea."
There's I'll post it up in the group, but there's a lady that did a kind of a little mashup comedy thing about just that. But I do want to say thank you. I saw your antenna, or the video of your antenna blowing down. I wasn't there, but it gave me an idea of what I could actually invest in to sound as good as you do.
Ah, very good. Yeah, well, it was good because I mean tonight it worked out well for people who had a reasonable antenna, and that was listening to those guys from Indiana coming in. That was, I mean, Illinois. That was awesome.
So you're running what, an HF and then what, a 270 on the other side?
Yeah, that's right. It's that, what do you call it? The Diamond X700 antenna on the 2 meter 70 centimeter side, and then I've got well, I'm gonna be putting up a different antenna hopefully this week, but I'm using a what's called a Cobra. What is it called? A Cobra Ultralight Senior. It's a serpentine antenna that goes out on both ends. It goes out about 75 feet twice. It runs down, runs alongside itself, back again, and then it runs back out. So each end has a serpentine, 100 or 200. Yeah, it's about 225 feet on each leg. But since the cables run next to each other, it's a compromise antenna. It works reasonably well in a few places. In some places, it really stinks. But it's just fun. It's fun. I'm going to be putting up a better antenna.
That horizontal, it sounds like, with maybe 3 or 4 different legs of different lengths.
Well, no, I just try to imagine if you had 225 feet of wire and you connect it up to the one side of a twin lead or a ladder line, and you run it out 75 feet, and then you just make a U-turn and you take that wire, run it back to where it started, and then you make another U-turn and you run it back to the end and you terminate it there. That's the length of that wire, is 75 feet out, 75 feet back, and then 75 feet where it ends.
And so, how many HF bands can you handle with that?
All of them. It's technically all of them if you got it up high enough and you got conditions. And of course, that's true of any. But it is a compromise antenna, and it's not perfect on all the bands. Believe me, it's not.
All right, fair enough. KK4 UTS, late check in. I'll be on site.
Yeah, that's Carl. He's in Gladeville. Kilo 4 Uniform Tango Sierra. Any other comments, thoughts on that whole issue? Like I said, I'm not trying to be a hardhead about this thing with China. I just feel like we're being held hostage to a lot of materials over there, and we have very little, as hams, we have very little leverage. I'm just thankful. I mean, for instance, when we were talking about it locally here about some of the things that came in from China were very poor quality. They had a problem with dog food that apparently was killing. I say apparently, I don't remember the story. It was hurting dogs and cats, and then there was sheetrock that was problematic because it had I forget which product it had in it, but it was making a mess in homes. And what's next? Floor tiles and drapes.
Yeah, they also had lead paint. Some of their toys they were importing.
Oh yeah, that's what we need, is more lead paint. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that we do know that the Japanese have very high quality stuff, and so do some other manufacturers that we deal with on a regular basis. And all too often, in spite of the good price, it isn't necessarily a great answer, because if the price was everything, I guess we'd all have Bowfangs, and we'd have, I don't know, we wouldn't own any Heil microphones or any of the other high quality microphones that are out there. You know what I'm saying is if it was just a matter of price, we'd be buying the cheapest radios in the marketplace. And I guess I'm glad that China only makes one HF radio. Is that Xiegu? Is that the one I'm thinking about? Does anybody know of another one? Well, apparently not. But no, I think that Zygu is the one I remember being made in Japan. I mean, made in China. Well, listen, well, here we go. Let's wrap this up then. Does anybody have any final comments or complaints? Good enough. We wrapped it up with 34 check-ins, and 2 of those were, I guess, in 2 meters. We'll call those DX. Does anybody have anything they want to buy? Any other late check-ins? Anybody, any place, anywhere, and including the lollygaggers, sandbaggers, lurkers, end time survivalists, scanner listeners, and preppers. Please come in.
KG4 ILD.
Which one do you want to be, Jack?
I'll be a scallywag.
Very, very good. KG4IL. How you doing down here? How's the signal? Did you hear any of that traffic from Illinois just a little while ago?
I couldn't really hear it, but I've been listening for, I guess, the last 30 minutes or so. I got home late.
All right. That's a late check-in. That's Kilo Golf 4, India, Lima, Victor, and it's Jack down in Rockville. Yeah, your signal sounds good again tonight, so you're doing a real good job. Any other scallywags? Well, very good. Well, let's move over. Anybody think got any to buy, sell, swap, or swindle?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Carl.
So I'm gonna probably put the stuff up on eBay. So I got into the. I've got a bunch of Shark RFs over here that I think I'm gonna part ways with, and I think I've got the 1, 2, and 3, or one. I don't know. It's sitting over there. I can't see it. My eyesight's going. And I've also got this device that came out of Florida. It's one of the little things. Looks like a dongle, and the software is horrible on it. But if you screw with it long enough, it will work.
Yeah, the more I screw with stuff, the more it breaks.
That means you're doing good.
Yeah, well, good. If you can, but if you want to, post it up locally here, right? To and see if you get any responses here off of our network.
Yeah, I'll do that. I think, I can go ahead. I can, I'll do that. And we'll see what happens. Just stuff laying around. Ebbs and flows. KK4 UTS. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm still working towards my elevation, so I can get with you guys on the follow-up chat.
All right, very good. Good to hear. So you sound good though, Carl, at the moment. So it'd be good to hear you. You mean like on the? Well, you're working on your general ticket too, aren't you?
Yes, roger that. Yeah, I'm on the base station right now. I've been kind of fooling around with the mobile. And I'm over here by the Amazon place in Glayville, and they've got a new Thornton's up there. So, and of course, the repeater's up there anyway, but of course, we're not using that. But I just kind of go up there and, take a field test, see what I can get away with or whatever.
I got you. Yeah, we don't really like to talk about repeaters on this net.
Understood. Yeah. Which is a good thing, actually. So maybe Wednesday I'll check in on my old Kenwood, see if it does anything. If it still holds up against the A10.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, it doesn't matter. Repeaters are fine. I think everybody knows we're joking when we talk about that, but repeaters have their place. And unfortunately, they've taken, in the past, in the 15 years I've been in amateur radio, repeaters were, everybody's kind of had already fallen into the repeater mode, and there just wasn't a lot of traffic on repeaters. In general, there's not a lot of traffic. And whether I lived in Florida or when I lived in New York and when I lived here, the repeater traffic and the response on repeaters is spotty at best it's spotty, and sometimes it's just plain dead. 30 or 40 repeaters in Middle Tennessee, and they're all uniquely dead about 95% of the time, which I think we have more collective activity on this frequency than any of the repeaters. Well, maybe not all of them, but we just have a lot of activity here, and it's a lot more fun, I think. And I think a lot of other people find it fun too. All right. Anyway, anybody else have any buy, sell, swap, or swindle? Then we're going to move over to the 2-meter sideband. That's 144.240, 144.240. Almost all of us are vertical, and I don't know anybody who's got. There are some people with horizontals, but they still be able to hear us with a decent signal. It sounds like we've got great propagation tonight, so maybe we'll hear some other people. I'm switching over right now to 144.240 upper sideband, K4PEW. All righty, this is K4PEW, the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. on 144.240, and we'll be starting again from the south. Please come now. Nothing from the south on 144.240.
I hear you.
Okay, who's hearing me? Just check in, please.
Whiskey Zero, Golf Zulu Romeo, W0 GZR.
W0 GZR, very good. You got a good signal. Who else is south? Please come now. Nobody else south. Over to the east end.
KB4 RSM.
KB4 RSM, very good, Glenn. Who else south? Please come now. Or south or east?
Did you not hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, we must spike the mic at the same time. KE4 DZ, Earl and Noreen.
Yeah, you sound fine, Earl. Who else is south or east? Anybody else south or east or north? Anybody else north? All righty, then move over to the west. It's going to be a quick net on 144.240.
KM4 YRF.
You're not hearing anybody else, are you, there, Michael?
Nope, not at all.
All right, very good. Anybody else north or west?
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango.
All right, we got Don in there, November 4, Delta Juliet Tango. Anybody else north or west?
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Very good, John. Excellent signal. Who else northwest or north or west? All right, any place, anywhere, north, south, east, or west? Burned everybody out on the check-ins on 2 meters FMs. Anybody, any place else, please come in. All righty, I think that about wraps it up. We had a grand total of 7 on the 2 meter sideband on 144.240. And starting from the bottom, we had Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, John over in Bellevue, and November 4 Delta Juliet Tango in Bon Aqua, and Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, Michael in Belshire, Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu in Noreen, and KB4 RSM, Glenn over here in southeast or east Mount Juliet, and who else we got? W0 GZR. Let's see, that is, I get it right, that's Jerry, I believe. Isn't that Jerry? Yeah. No, I got the wrong name in there. Who's W0GZR? I'm sorry.
Mark in Southeast Nashville.
Man, I'm going to have to embed that in my, right, tattoo that on my arm. You know that, Mark? I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll forgive you.
All right, very good. I need forgiveness, believe me. And Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. I think that's me. And a grand total is 7. And then we're going to go right over to the, what we can do now. Oh, yeah, 6 meters. And that was the one we were using last time, wasn't it? I don't have my notes in front of it. It is 50.135, isn't it?
Roger, roger.
Yeah, 50.135 upper sideband, and you have to give me a second. I still don't have it programmed into my memory, so I'm gonna have to move on that one. And there'll be some on vertical, and most of us, I think, will be on horizontal, but I'm not positive about that. Michael, what are you running on 6 meters now?
I'm vertical.
Okay, well, good. You've got the vertical, and so you might be able to hear some things I might not be able to, or vice versa. All right, very good. I'm going to move over to 50.135 upper sideband. Appreciate you guys on 144.240, and we'll see you in a minute. And at the end, I guess we'll all, or whoever wants to, can end up back on FM. K4P, dude. K4 PEW. I think it's 5135, isn't it?
Came for OFO.
Ah, there we go. I finally realized where I was supposed to be on my VFO here. I heard you in there, Donnie, and I heard, hold on.
That antenna had a 1-to-1 on it. No, it was terrible. I put that 4-to-1 on there, and it's made all the difference in the world. Well, that's great. Yeah, it's doing good. I've got good FWR. I've noticed my radio's running cooler, and I'm having to turn the volume up about half what I used since I put that 4-to-1 on there. What? Up, I was reading reviews on it. Some people said 1-to-1, somebody else 4-to-1, somebody 1-to-1, somebody 4-to-1. So I started out with that 1-to-1, and when the storm took it down, I said, when I put it back up, I'm going with a 4-to-1 and try it. And I'm sure glad I did.
All right, I'm back. Finally got it straightened out here with my tuner and my radio and my brain. So, all right, we're going to start the 6-meter net here on 50.135. This is Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Who is? We'll start again from the south. Please come now.
Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar.
Very good, Donnie. Who else in there?
Thank you.
Golf Zulu Romeo. Got you in there, Mark. Who else? See, I remembered your name. Good signal in there, Mark. Who else? I mean, who else? South, I think, first. Come now. Oh no, you're good. You're good. Who else? Who else? South. Over to the east, then.
KB4 RSM.
Nice clear signal there, Glenn. KB4RSM. Yeah, no, nice clear, very, very good signal on the 6-meter. Who else? East or south? Anybody else east or south? Up to the north, then.
Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra.
Ah, very good. We got Paul here in Mount Juliet. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra. Who else north? Anybody else north or east or south? Anybody copying anything I'm not? All right, over to the west then. KM4YRF. Anybody else west or anywhere?
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango and Baja.
Very good, Don. Are you having to run much power on 6?
If I have it, I run it. Life's too short for QRP.
Yeah, I got you. Life's too short to small electric bills. Anybody else anywhere on the compass, north, south, east, or west on 6 meters, please come in.
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Very good. I got John in there in Bellevue. Good signal, John. Who else? Anybody else on 6? All right. Looks like we wrapped up. No late check-ins on 6 tonight? Anybody, anywhere, please come now. I'll call Illinois. Please come now. All righty. Starting from the bottom, we had Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. We had, and that's Don in Bon Aqua. We had Kilo Mike 4 YRF, and that's Michael in Belshire. And Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra, Paul here in Mount Juliet, the other Paul. And Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike, and that's Glenn here in Mount Juliet as well. Whiskey 0 Golf Zulu Romeo, and that's Mark here, over in Davidson County, just southeast Nashville. And Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar, which is Donnie in Hermitage, south of me. And of course, yours truly, Paul, here in Mount Juliet, K4PEW. And appreciate all the check-ins. And if at best, I'll see you over on 2 meters later or some other time. Appreciate all the participation. That was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 on 6 meters. We had 7 on 2 meter sideband and 35 on 2 meter simplex. So appreciate all the check-ins. Catch you guys later. Good net, K4P. Then.
Well, for sure. 2 meters good on sideband. Like you're not hearing that sound like you're perfectly fine before the sideband. Yeah, that's